Hello, Falcons fans. Today we have some hot news that you can't miss. So get ready because there's a lot of important information coming. Before we start, we'd like to take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel, activate the bell, and stay up to date with all the news about our Atlanta Falcons. Don't forget to leave a like, which really strengthens our community and helps bring this content to those who are most passionate about the team. Now, without further ado, let's get straight to today's news. The Falcons enter the 2025 offseason with just 4 draft picks and a plethora of needs, primarily on defense. In our first mock draft of the cycle, Atlanta is targeting the trenches. We did it. We somehow made it through the entire 2024 Atlanta Falcons season without me doing a mock draft. That's the first time that's happened in years. Unfortunately, the team didn't make the playoffs, but at least they kept our interest through the end of the regular season. I guess that's some kind of minor accomplishment. Anyway, the offseason has begun. Atlanta is in a tough spot with the salary cap and the 2025 NFL draft. After losing a pick for tampering with Kirk Cousins and trading a third for Matt Judon, the Falcons are down to just 4 picks. I think that should change either through a trade at some point or through trades for players like Kyle Pitts and Cousins, but for now, the team doesn't have much to work with. Before we get started with the simulation, let's take a look at the Falcons' current draft picks. What are the Falcons' current picks for the 2025 NFL Draft? Round 1, Pick 15, Edge James Pierce Jr., Tennessee. Another year, another mock draft starting with the Falcons selecting an edge rusher in the first round. Luckily, it looks like Atlanta picked the right year to need top 7 help, because this is an absolutely stacked class. The Falcons could go a lot of different ways with this pick, and ultimately, I think they'll opt to trade down to the early 20s if they can get a good day 2 pick back. Let's start with a more traditional direction by selecting Tennessee edge rusher James Pierce Jr. with the 15th pick. Until we know who the defensive coordinator is hired, I'm just going to assume Atlanta will be running a defense similar to the one they have now. In that case, the best fit for that is probably Pierce. Pierce is a super athletic, explosive, and flexible edge defender who took a big step forward as a run defender in 2024. He wasn't quite as productive as a pass rusher, 8 sacks in 2024 versus 13 in 2023, but he did get a bit more pressure, 43 versus 28, on almost exactly the same number of snaps. Pierce had an absurd 22.7% win rate in the pass rush, according to PFF, putting him just above top prospect Abdul Carter, 22.6%, and behind only Ole Miss Princely Umamalin, 23.9%. As I mentioned earlier, he also improved his run defense quite a bit, finishing with a very good 10.1% run stop rate. That said, Pierce's limitations mostly have to do with his size. At 6 feet 5 inches and 230 pounds, he has a great frame, but he's definitely a little light for the NFL level. He'll likely struggle to set the edge against NFL size. Still, Pierce is clearly one of the best pass rushers in the class, and if Atlanta is sticking with its preference for stand-up speed rushers on the outside who can drop occasionally, Pierce fits the bill perfectly. Round 2, Pick 46. LB Jihad Campbell, Alabama. One of the biggest risers this season, Alabama's Jihad Campbell went from day 3 to knocking on the door late in the first round. It's easy to see why. Campbell has tremendous size at 6 feet 3 inches, 245, and moves very well. He'll likely draw comparisons to Caden Ellis, as some of his best work comes when he's lined up as a blitzer and edge rusher. Campbell is a do-it-all linebacker with the athleticism to succeed in a variety of roles. He's probably not the best man coverage option on faster RBs or TEs, but he's smart in zone coverage and is effective when dropping down. Campbell has a knack for finding the ball and has improved greatly as a run defender and tackler during the 2024 season. If he's still on the board at this point, Campbell would be an excellent addition to Atlanta's linebacker core and a potential long-term replacement for Ellis. Round 4, Pick 116, DTJJ Pegay, Ole Miss. The Falcons got solid play from Eddie Goldman at the nose tackle position, particularly as a pass rusher, but the interior struggled to stop the run. With little salary cap space, Atlanta will look to its only early day 3 pick to find a quality nose tackle. Fortunately, this class has several players who could fit the bill, and in this draft we're going with one of the most talented run defenders in the class. Ole Miss JJ Pigu. Pigu has the ideal build for a nose tackle at 6 feet 2 inches, 325-inch, enough weight and length to hold up against double teams, but not so much that you'll have leverage or conditioning issues. Pigu capped off a productive college career with his best season in 2024, where he posted an elite 8.9% run-stop rate and a very impressive 8.9% pass rush win rate. While Pigu wouldn't be mistaken for an elite pass rusher, he is an effective pocket pusher and has recorded 4 sacks and 23 pressures this season. His quality play against the run, coupled with his solid pass rushing skills, should give him a clear path to significant playing time in the middle of Atlanta's defense. Round 7, Pick 242. WR Lante Wester, Colorado. Pick acquired from the Rams. The Falcons have a very late pick, and I'm curious to see what they do with it. This could be a good place to try for a kicker to compete with Younghoe Koo, and I'm curious to see if they go that route. For now, I'm looking to improve the return game with Colorado slot receiver and return specialist Lante Wester. Wester has put up impressive numbers with Colorado the past 2 years, with 931 receiving yards and 10 TDs working almost entirely out of the slot. He's a slippery, explosive receiver who has surprising toughness working inside. Wester is also an accomplished punt and kick returner, with multiple return touchdowns to his name at Colorado and FAU. You might be wondering why he's still available so late in the draft, given these accolades. Well, Wester is small. He's listed at 5 feet 11 inches, 167, and that might be a generous assessment. Still, this late in the draft, it might be worth a shot to see if Wester can provide a spark on special teams and as a depth receiver. What do you think of this potential draft class for the Falcons? Leave your draft picks in the comments below.